Sup everyone, Mr. O here, and welcome back to a brand new video of DBD. Now, originally I was just going to talk about the new ruin, and I know that in a lot of my streams, and I mean a lot of my streams, I've just been talking about ruin, and the update hasn't even come out yet. Like, fair enough, judging the book by its cover, the new ruin does look crap, but I gave it a shot on my own, and I played Killer a majority of the day, and I mean a majority of the day, and I also played the Doctor, and I've never played him more consistently in my life. Like, legitimately, I don't think I've played Doctor that many times before his rework, and now that I have played his rework, I think I'm in a comfortable position to see what I think. And if I'm honest, we'll start with the new Doctor. I think he's great. I legitimately think he's great. I am so happy with the fact that they changed the punishment mode and the treatment mode button ball crap, because it was just bad. I just like that's just me. I mean, Dr. Mains may have gotten used to it to the point where it was like religion to them, and that's fair enough. But to a person that didn't like it, and now they've changed it to this, I think it's personally great. And the static blast, I think is pretty good. It's such a good tracker perk, because if you know there's someone near, but you're not quite sure where they are, just static blast and get an idea. If no one comes up in the area, they're not in the area. Think of it as some like whisperer perk, but like more closer range, and it has a field, and at least you know exactly where people are with the static blast. Yeah, I just think the new Doctor's great. I had so much fun with him, and that's the thing. I had fun with him. If you have fun with a killer, which is the main thing, this is the main, if you have fun with that killer, then you have done your job well. I've always said this, and always will say this. It's like, for example, Rafe is fun, so he's viable, and you know, as long as you have fun with him and use his add-ons accordingly, then what's the problem? Is he a high tier killer? I don't think so. Is he a mid tier killer? Yeah, I would say he's a mid tier killer. Is he OP? Ha! No, he's not OP. He's 100% not OP. This is, and this will come to more the ruin segment shortly, but just because you have a problem with skill checks does not make him OP. The fact that you can recover from madness so much easier now does not make him OP. So what if his thing goes counterclockwise? You just go with the rhythm of it. The fact is, if you make a mistake, it's just going to pause. It's not going to reset back from the beginning. And I did try out the new add-ons and stuff. The Queen chess piece, oh my god, it is so good. It is so good. To me it is, anyway. So, this is my favourite set with the Doctor. I did have like a lot of games, somewhere in the double digits at least. And yeah, I think he's great. He works well with the new ruin as well. And this is my favourite combo with him. Sloppy Butcher, Devour Hope, the new ruin, and Nurse's Calling. I do highly recommend this set. It was my favourite. I did mess with a whole bunch of other sets as well, and there's a lot of synergy with him and some other perks in the game. Distressing works with him as per usual, like old Doctor, but you can play as Stealthy Doctor now. You can put Monitor and Abuse on this guy now, and it works because treatment mode is different now, because it doesn't automatically happen, which now works even better in his favour, because now it gives him more versatility. I know a lot of people are going to miss the old Doc, and I totally understand the reason why, but since they have normalised him, which they're going to do with all killers, I think he's pretty legit. I think he's pretty cool. I did enjoy playing with him, and I don't think he's been nerfed at all. I think he's been improved better for the long game, so to speak. So, because I was just going to talk about the Ruin, but like I said, I feel like I have. What's the word I'm looking for? I didn't assume too quickly, I don't think, but I didn't get into the meat and bones of it. I didn't have actually play with the new Ruin to have an opinion on it, to have a true opinion on it anyway. And I have said in my last couple of streams that I think the new Ruin is shit, and I still stand by the reasons why I still think why old Ruin got ruined. But let's get to the new Ruin. What is it like? How is it in game? It's a word I'm looking for. It's not terrible, but it isn't great. Is it better than old Ruin? Fuck no, nothing's gonna beat old Ruin. Nothing. Should this perk have been its own perk? I think so. Is it better than other generator perks? Well, it depends. It does depend, because it doesn't synergize with Overcharge, it doesn't synergize with Pop Goes the Weasel, and it doesn't synergize with Surge. And the fact is, with this perk going around, people might not ever use Surge ever again. True, this is still a Hex perk, which is, you could argue, which is questionable, but now that I've seen it in game, and I've played as a killer, depending where your rank is, your opinion may change. I don't think it should be a Hex perk, but you have to understand, if this thing wasn't a Hex perk, you do realise that the new survivors would probably complain about this one as well. Easily. Now, I personally am not that affected with this new Hex Ruin. I personally think it's easy to get by without destroying the totem. But people will still destroy totems just in case of, Nowhead, which you know for a fact has increased in popularity. And by the way, as you guys can tell, I'm just spitballing this. I am just saying this as openly as I possibly can. The new Hex Ruin is not bad, but it does not work on every single killer, and this is again a problem. As a person that does play in usually between green to purple to red ranks with killer, I know what it's like. I know what it's like to get gem rushed. I know what it's like to be, even with old Hex Ruin, you would still get gem rushed. And this is the thing, there's going to be a lot of cocky killers out there, or confident killers out there, depending on your preference of the view, is that they'll be like, well, I didn't need Ruin anyway. And then you're right, there are some killers that didn't need Ruin and still get a 4K. That's fine. But that doesn't make you better. That doesn't make you any better. You could have been up against 4 survivors that were completely not potatoes. You don't know. We didn't see your game. You don't know. There's a lot of people that have a lot of ego in this community, a lot of arrogance. Am I one of those people? Probably a lot of people think that. I don't think I'm the best player in the world, and God forbid I am not a great killer. I love playing as killer, and I love playing as the new Doctor. Even with his perks, which I'm going to go back to the Doctor slightly. His new perks, well, wait, not his new perks, sorry, his new add-ons. Like, the add-on selection feels so good with him. It doesn't feel like other killers where you, like, for example, a hillbilly. You're just going to put tuning guide on and The Prima Bulb. Oh, you're so original. Oh, it makes you so good as a killer. No, like with someone with the new Doctor, at least you'll have, you know, different styles, different ways to play as him, and I think that makes him better than some of these high rank killers. Because, like, for example, I think Hillbilly needs a rework. I think Leatherface needs a rework. I think all of them are going to get reworks regardless. But, and I'm glad for the Doctor's rework. I'm not exactly thrilled about the Hex Ruin, but now that I've played it, I understand the reason why people complained about it. It's not because of new survivors though, which I will get to at the end. And believe me, I'm still brutal in that opinion. It was a passive, what do you call it? Passive. You didn't need to do anything to have Hex Ruin do its job, unlike other perks. That's what made it so powerful. However, be that as it may, I think this new Ruin should have been its own different perk, and the old Ruin should have been something similar to old Ruin, but less. Maybe actual skill checks that were less random, and there were less skill checks, however they were still consistent but not as much. Basically the randomness of skill checks on generators is an unknown, you know, random RNG bullshit system. That's what made the old Ruin so powerful. You could actually go on a Hex Ruin generator and have no skill checks. Although the next time you're on a gen, you could get like 5 in a row in a space of like microseconds. It was the fact that that's what made the old Ruin bullshit, because it was RNG, and I understand that. So if they made it less RNG, more consistent, with less skill checks, but still having viable skill checks, I think this would have worked. I think the old Ruin could have worked and not been as RNG BS than it was, because it did have its moments of being RNG BS. However, I will state one thing: the old Ruin was not broken. If it can be destroyed, since it was a Hex perk, it was never broken. There are things like Small Game, Detective's Hunch, Rainbow Map, if you were unfamiliar with the locations of Hex Totems. And yeah, there are plenty of options to get around the old Ruin. But, and there's another, there are other ways to get around other Hex perks like Devour Hope and, you know, Third Seal and Huntress's Lullaby, etc. So this is towards the new survivors. You need to get over yourselves, honestly. You need to understand that the world doesn't resolve around you, and you have to remember that if old veteran survivors could have got around old Ruin, so could you. But instead of learning and trying to find out where these Hex Totems are and using, you know, the other perks in the survivor's arsenal, you decide to cry and complain, and you're basically like a child not getting the favourite sweets at the shop basically. So, and that's the reason why the Doctor got changed as well, because they probably saw the Doctor more in their ranks between rank 20 and rank 14. So I will say this, you need to get your act together, because you're probably the kind of survivor that don't touch killer. You've played it probably once or twice and gave up because you thought it was too hard, or the fact is you just don't want to play killer. So if you don't want to play killer, that's fine, but you have no right to say what is and what isn't okay in this game. To me, if you don't know what it's like to play as killer, and the brutality is because obviously people have been there. You could play perfect and still get gem rushed and destroyed. And it's not because, oh, I did lack of map pressure, oh, you wasn't consistent in the chase, blah blah blah. No, it's more to the fact there are some killers that are better doing map pressure. That's the reason why you see Spirit, Hillbilly and Nurse in the high ranks and not many other killers. It's not a question of, you know, these things being so much of an issue. It's just the fact is you were just too lazy and you couldn't handle it. So one thing I will say, thank you for the new Doctor, because I didn't like the punishment mode or the treatment mode, but everything else you just need to get over yourselves and start learning how to get good at the game. So there you go, guys. That is my opinion on the new Doctor and the new Ruin. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy this, don't forget to hit that like button, don't forget to share this out, and if you're new, do consider subscribing, as I do play Dead by Daylight a lot. And I'm not going to stop anytime soon, because I still love this game. But yes, I think the devs just need to have a bit of a wake-up call. But killer direction, in terms of normalising things, not too bad. So anyway guys, I've been Mr. O, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Toodles!